Hi, my name is Alexander Beresford, and I'm going to do a quick online reading of my new novel, Charla, released by Black Bed Sheet Books, Diverse Media, Nicholas Grabowsky. But before I do so, the legal department of Black Bed Sheet Books has informed me that I have to read this out loud, the warning that's in the book. Warning, do not read the demonic summoning towards the end of Chapter 2 out loud. It is safe to read quietly to yourself, but never out loud, as it may bring an unwanted demon into your life, in addition to and more powerful than the ones probably already in existence with you. The author and publisher will not be held responsible for any demonic or disruptive presence in your life if you choose to ignore this warning. Regarding live author readings of Chapter 2, be doubly forewarned. Thanks, I had to read that. Francie Weatherman, internet radio show host from Francie and Friends, she's also an author, said that Charla was Mommy Dearest meets The Exorcist. I think that's a fair description. I'm going to read a bit of Chapter 1, and then I'll add a couple of notes. Chapter 1. She had always hated her daughter, and she hid it exceedingly well. She was compelled to, because no one would understand otherwise. Even Emily never imagined her mother disliked her so much. Charlotte Green sat on the cast-iron chair in the balcony outside her bedroom on the second floor of the elegant old Spanish home. The weather was breezy and cool that morning. The sun had been coming up as she finished another cigarette and downed another glass of wine. Her sixth, she thought. She hadn't slept all night. She had been up thinking, reminiscing, contemplating. Secretly, she always wished her daughter had died somehow. Every time Emily crossed the street, went on a school field trip, or out with friends until late, Charla hoped the girl would not make it home, fantasizing about her getting run over, hurt in some freak accident, kidnapped, beaten, or even raped, murdered, finished, gone. She lit another cigarette and thought back to weeks before Emily was born. Everyone knew she expected a boy. Everyone knew she wanted a boy. And when the baby girl was born, naturally, everyone knew she would love her just as much. But no, she hated her. Though Charla never knew for sure where such hatred came from, the pregnancy had certainly been a difficult one, with severe morning sickness, cramps, back pain, constant irritability, and when the final hour arrived, labor had been nothing short of torture. Finally, after excruciating effort, a little placental abruption, and a touch of maternal hemorrhaging, Emily was born. The new baby girl got all the attention, but the adoration and pouring of love her new daughter was receiving somehow sickened and angered her. As days went by, she really did try to get the anger under control, to understand it. She sought help by mentioning it to her husband and a nurse, who with smiles on their faces brushed this anger off as some temporary anomaly. Charla wondered if it might be a form of severe postpartum depression, even though no other symptoms were present, or some rare form of hormonal imbalance. Whatever it is, she thought, it'll go away soon enough. But the negative emotions remained, festering, alive, creeping up so often it all became quite abnormally normal for her. So a few weeks after Emily's birth, Charla began taking it out on the baby girl. When they were alone and Emily cried, clearly hungry, Charla would wait an extra amount of time to breastfeed her. The cries didn't bother her at all. She would stand at a distance, staring at her daughter in the crib, sometimes a slight smile settling on her lips as she observed. When bathing her baby girl, Charla would occasionally draw a bath a bit too cold or a bit too hot for the baby's sensitive skin. The baby cried, but what baby doesn't? Before Emily could speak, her mother would sometimes yank her hair to awaken her. She would also scream or clap her hands loudly near her head to jolt the girl awake. It pleased her to see the sweet girl's panicked reaction. When Emily learned to walk, Charla would stroll behind her and, oops, accidentally trip her as she ran or played. Sometimes the falls were nasty, a scraped chin, a busted lip. Kids. As Emily grew older, Charla often made her eat food she hated, and she placed her in time out for excessive amounts of time for minor infractions. She would throw away her favorite doll or toy, pretend it had gone missing mysteriously. In rare occasions, she would accidentally burn her scalp with a tap of the curling iron while styling her pretty hair, or by keeping the strong hair dryer in one area of her smooth white neck for a little too long, always feigning distraction, always apologizing, kissing to make it better. And as always, nothing obvious, nothing that would leave any evident marks, any clues. Though she was often tempted to outright hurt and abuse the girl, slap her, scratch her, kick her, strike her with whatever was there, the risks were too high, and for self-preservation's sake, some thought would always have to be part of the process. She was so subtle in her sporadic inflictions that Emily suffered no lasting trauma, mental or otherwise. She was never the wiser. And it just goes on from there. Charla has an unusual event. She's divorced, she's pissed off, she's drunk again. She has an unusual event that sparks the idea of summoning a demon into the house to just bring hell to her daughter. That way Charla can keep her hands clean. And that's how the book starts. So thanks for listening. And pick up the book if you're interested. It's available everywhere. Amazon, at the Black Bed Sheet website, usually on sale at the Black Bed Sheet website, so check it out. And I'll see you around.